Welcome to the righteous sphere. We separate the gray areas over here. We don't do the lying like those other places. No. We don't do no fucking lying over here. You're gonna get the truth.
And his opponent, accompanied by Ross Mann from Harlem, New York, weighing in at 215 pounds, GMG Big Money.
Oh, I can't wait to see this one. These two have been waiting for this one for quite some time, and to be honest, so have I.
They ask for the truth, but they can't handle it. They want to remain stupid. Salute, and welcome to class, Goodbreads, and my sisters with sense. We got a good one today, guys. We got a good one, and I know for those of you that might be new watching on the playback, this is a live stream, so that's why the intro was like that. All right, we here on live streams. We have fun, we laugh, and we tell the truth, y'all. You know what I'm talking about? So today we got a damn good one, because this is why black women know damn well they are not good mothers, yo. Straight up, point blank. And this is a challenge. If I got any sisters with sense in the house, understand this is not an attack. This is a reminder. It is hard. Motherhood is hard, all right? And only 20% of women are born to be great mothers. Then there is 60% that it could go either way. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the 60%, and then there is 20% that shouldn't even touch a baby. They should get their tubes tied like right away. Like right away. We should chug birth control down their neck, the 20%, that bottom 20. But today we're talking about the 60% and the 20%. Because they know damn well they're not good mothers, guys. And they should just stay modern women. Just stay a modern woman. You don't gotta reach for the mother title because you get the mother privilege. Being a mother and having that mother title is the most privileged title position you could hold in our society. It's wicked. It is wicked, guys. Understand that joint is wicked. Let's look at some of the mindsets, because not all, but it's definitely not some. It's the majority, and I could prove it, guys. They're just weird, but we're gonna talk about it today. Who we got in the house? We got my guy DJ Chocolate. Salute, long time good bread. What's going on, my guy? Word. Who else we got? We got my guy T1 TCP original, a day oneer in the building. Yeah, it's going down today, guys. We're gonna talk the truth. And keep in mind, guys, I use my titles because I want to sweep my front door first. But do know, in every race, there is hell of a mother. So that's why we're gonna get straight on into it. We're gonna get to our chart, guys, because y'all know we break it down to the molecule over here. So understand that each color represent a parenting style. So pretty much once you identify the color, that'll be how you were raised. Because these modern women have different techniques, different strategies on how they raise babies, but they all hell of a. So don't let one hide behind the other. and make like if she's better than the other, because this chart right here is all modern women. This the 80% of mothers right here, guys. All right. So if you was raised by a red section mother, you have one of them street fighting mothers, one of them mothers that was out there in the street fighting with people, you probably real soft and you're real sensitive and you're real fragile and you don't really like the truth too much. So you be in denial, you be wanting all this sugarcoat and stuff. So you gotta learn your you gotta learn your parental strategy so that you know what you gotta fix when you go into hibernation mode. When you go into monk mode and you start to fix you, it's important, it's imperative that you identify the things that we talk about on this channel. That's why we talk about the things we talk about on this channel, because if we don't talk about it, then you're not going to know what to identify, and you're not going to ever fix what you can't identify, you can't fix, right? Make sense? Some of y'all got that green section moms where, you know what I mean, she bought you a few things, but you kept moving. You never had stability. You had different mans in and out your life, a couple of stepdads. Might even have your real dad there, but you got a couple of stepdads. Know what I'm talking about? That right there is a poor parenting strategy, but some of us endured it. And it's the reason why we behave the way we behave right now, at whatever age we is right now. You think you make your own decisions, but you don't. Some of y'all got Big Brenda. Now, oddly enough, Big Brenda, one of the most nourishing parents on this board. Big Brenda gonna make sure the house clean, is food on the table, clothes on your back, and that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. You know what I mean? As far as information that can be useful for you to progress in your generation, ain't none of that. And you got food on the table, you got clothes on your back, and you got a clean house, and you better be happy, boy, because you ain't have a choice. But I brought you into this world and I take you out. You know what I'm talking about? That's the blue section right there, guys. That's Big Brenda. A lot of y'all got that. And y'all little liars and haters of the truth. And you got to get that up out of you. You got to get that up out of you. And then we got the yellow section, right? These were our little scamming kids and our shooters, the ones really terrorizing the streets. And these are the mothers, right? I want y'all to know about this yellow section right here. These are the mothers that really, they will swear up and down. If I drop the link right now, I might get one of these bald head, dolled up chicks jump on here and really fight for their life about how they're a great parent. And they really not, guys. Just because you give your kids all of these things don't make you a great parent. See, they raise the shooters and they raise the scammers because they get a kid money because they can't give the kid information. You see how that work? Some of y'all was spoiled. Some of y'all got everything you wanted because she couldn't give you no information for you to go get it yourself. So she just bought it for you. And now she ain't got that same job. And you out there in the real world and you're just struggling, boy. You don't know how to start from scratch. You got to have the big old bag. You got to risk your freedom to have this big old bag. You can't work at McDonald's. No, you out here selling fish whole because you need this big old bag. And you can't be like us normal folks who go to work, save our money, get money, save and spend, save. And you got to have this big bag. So now you can't humble yourself. Those are the parents that raise those kids, guys. I mean, and mind you, guys, I'm not up here hating. You see my tone? I took it down. I ain't even yelling. These are facts, guys. These are psychological truths. These been studied. All right. These been studied. Understand? And you see why I say not all, because it's really not all, guys. Because we just went over 1, 2, 3, 4 different parenting strategies, and they all poor. They all suspect as all have a. But you can't tell one that their strategy is not better than the others. And this is what we have now. This is what we have now. We have a bunch of entitled folks who was raised off of nothing, really nothing, thinking that there's something. And then they're hiding the fact, they're not addressing, they don't want to address the fact that they was put here with nothing. 80% of us, 80% of us put here with nothing. These parents really think that they give birth to the kid and the kid just supposed to magically develop. They really don't understand that what they pour in, the rain, the sunlight, that's all on them. The way that seed grow is all on them. It's not no luck. It's not no potluck thing where, oh, well, if my baby come out good, my baby come out good. If my baby come out bad, oh, it ain't my fault. It just that's just what it is. That's just life. No, no, that's not life. That's not just life. And, oh man, let's get to the last but not least, the purple section, guys. Y'all know what they raise. Y'all already know what they raising out here, but they keep them. They be raising some of the killers too, man. They be raising some of the leaders of the world, man. These ones, and I'm telling you, it's sad because the average female nowadays is selling fish hole, boy. Show me the female that's not selling fish hole, boy. The average female selling fish hole out here, and the kids see it. They post the kid from the same page that they post a thirst trap, and they on the same app that the kid is on. You know what I mean? The kid teacher or the kid doctor or the kid's coach got done seen their mama naked. These chicks send so much nudes that the person that hired a kid, if in the neighborhood, sell their mama naked. And this is just what it is, y'all. It's crazy. It's disturbing. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of the live, because y'all know I keep a sister with me. I keep a sister with me because you is not going to paint me out as the bad guy. You is not going to paint me out as the bad guy because I tell the truth and y'all done normalize lying and being fake to one another. All right? Hold on. Before we get to my sister, my shooter, my hitter, let me read some things to y'all so y'all can really see the mindset of these women. You know what I mean? Salute to Molly Honey, 6155. Again, I do understand we don't gotta agree with everything, especially ladies. Ladies, men and women think different, love different, we act different. So I understand we don't gotta agree on things, but it's certain things where the principle can't vary. All right. And this is one of them topics where you're never gonna get me to sit there and sugarcoat. You're not, and no, we don't want you to apologize. If I got any single mothers in the house, this is not what we asking. Because damn, what you want us to do? We made a mistake. Just listen. That's what I want you. I want you to shut up. I don't want you to be reactive. I want you to just listen and fight them triggers, because you're gonna get triggered because it's the truth. But listen. I want you to listen to the whole live stream all the way through. You ain't gonna hear my ugly voice in a couple of minutes. You're gonna hear your sister. Your sister gonna tell you how to fix everything. All right? Now listen, let's read this. Molly Honey says, always playing games with the wrong woman. Some of y'all are just destined to be single forever. And she responded that because I gave the guys some game, right? Unfortunately, it's easier for us to take somebody else's girl than it is to keep our girl entertained and happy. And that's just a fact. And they get mad at the facts. These women don't like their nature. This is why they run around here trying to be men, trying to be us, because they don't like their nature. So when they hear about their nature, they frown up, and it's their nature to be curious. Curiosity kills the cat, but satisfaction brings it back. And that's female nature. This is why, even when I tell the guys game and I put it in the public for the women to read it too, it's still gonna work, guys, because these women are fighting against their biological nature. And their nature gonna win every single time. They gonna run around here talking, I don't need no man. At 11:45, boy, that little fish hole gets to throbbing. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? Come on now, stop playing. But in any event, no, and we okay with that. I told her this, and y'all see what I told her, and then she tried to reply back with the any person don't talk about God, because any person that mentioned prostitute and did it, man, you know how many times prostitution and prostitute is mentioned in the Bible, man. Listen, the first paternity test. Get your pencils out, because I know y'all don't do no reading, but the first paternity test in the Bible was between two women, a prostitute and a virtuous woman over a baby because the prostitute tried to steal the other woman's baby. And we needed King Solomon, right? Solomon's wisdom. Yeah, we needed King Solomon to come in and be the judge, jury, and executioner. And I want you to go read the rest of that story, right? Go do some work. Go do some homework. Go do some research. Find out what happened in the rest of that story right there. All right? But yeah, moral of the story, the first paternity test, not even with a man. The first paternity test is with two women. So let's stop playing. All right. Let's stop. We are prepared to go out. It's way cheaper to be a single man in this world because of pink tax. Go look that word up too. Pink tax, right? That's for you females. Y'all must know the pink tax. It's 15, damn near 20 of them that get y'all every single time. And this is the reason why it's way cheaper to be a single man in this world than it is to be a single woman in this world. It's way cheaper. And this is why God designed it that way, that y'all learn how to be nice and that y'all learn how to work together with people so that y'all can inherit y'all value and wealth through the man. You know what I mean? But since y'all want to play the devil's game, the devil got pink tax running around here to where, y'all gotta, it's some things y'all got to buy every month that men ain't got to buy every month. Y'all notice how y'all go to the cleaners and y'all clothes cost a little bit more. Y'all got little ass clothes, but y'all clothes cost a little bit more than our clothes. It's pink tax, sis. Remember, this is not an attack. I'm just gonna scare you out of trying to bring a baby into this world and not being prepared. That's all I'm doing. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I'm not attacking you, sis. I want to frighten you. I want to frighten you into making better decisions, better choices and decisions, so you're not running around here like these old women that you sit around sounding stupid. All right? Now let's get to this next one. At bread, when as a mother, that's that line. When as a mother you try to nurture and guide and that child does not respond and choose to continue down a slippery slope with their hands in the air and feet on the gas, I can't go with them. Love you much. Wow. You see the mentality. It's the mentality. And that's somebody she laid on her back, enjoyed that raw, hard D with veins in it, and decided to bring that baby into this world. And now all of a sudden, you can't go with him. Where is the kid father? Why do we think it's okay to raise kids dolo? It's not okay to raise kids dolo. See, it's no way around this. Like, sisters, I'm being honest. I'm not a goalpost mover. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest. You can't be having that mindset. This is why I try to reach the young girls right now before they start sounding like this. If I have any young sisters, my sisters with sense, read that. Read that. Just read her mentality. This is the mentality of a lot of them. Read it. Just read it. Read it. And they say it so strong because they mean it, y'all. FBA, what's going on? Flawless, what's going on, my God? Flawless Fitness Back Zone. I see y'all. Tony, what up? Abdul, what up, man? I see y'all. The pink tax refers to the phenomenon where products are the service marketed towards women. You know it. My boy Tony know it. Let me finish that off. Towards women or girls are priced higher than similar products or services marketed towards men or boys. Absolutely. It is cheaper to be a single man in America than it is to be a single woman. The same, always got to spend. Always got to spend. You got to remember, it's safer for us to walk outside at night. The women got to get a cab. Women got to get cab money. Women got to, you know what I mean? It's certain things. You rarely see women in outfits twice. You know what I mean? So they're always spending, and it's designed that way. But they got it. These women is making, they got it. They got it, boy. Don't tell them they ain't got it. They got it. Let's read one more and then we get on with the show. Oh man. I like this one. These be the sassy and wrong ones. And then they ain't got no picture in their avatar. So they either old or big. So in any event, This guy obviously doesn't have kids. He's, and then they assume, and then but in the event, taking this incident far too seriously, kids all around the world brought up in single households or not have called emergency services before. No, we have not, ma'am. No, we have not. We have never called the police on our mother because our mother ate our ice cream. None of us was brazen enough. Not my generation. See, and this is part of the problem. So this lets us know she is part of the problem. This new problem that we have of kids just doing whatever they want, and then the mama sticking her hands in their pocket. She part of that problem, bro. Because I ain't never do that. Now I'll tell you what I would do. Because I'm from the generation where they had the little red box. I don't know in New York, y'all. They had the little red box with the fire department button and the New York City Police Department button. Now, that was outside, though. That was outside. You know what I mean? It wasn't in my house. It wasn't in my mama's house with my mama phone. I never called police on my mama from her phone, ever. Are you crazy? But I guess this is normalized now. This is the new normal. But outside, we did press that button and run a couple of times. We did do that, but never in our mama house. But anyway, this the new world. It is common. It is common for little kids to be disrespectful to their moms. That's what she's saying. And the police just laughed about it. I live in the UK. Oh man, we ain't reading no more of this, man. You get out of here. Get the hell away from me. You live in the UK. You flood the pond with stupidity. Keep that shit over there. I think that shit started over there too. You keep it over there. We ain't even reading the rest of that. You from the UK. You don't need to be talking about this. You shut up. Facts, y'all. Let's get to the main event, y'all. Hit that like button, man. Hit that like button.
Traumas of the mama, right? Because this Zoom is on mother wounds and we talk about mama trauma. But before we get into our mama trauma, if you go back to the traumatic experiences of your mother, you have to understand the timeline of our history, right? And so it's great that you went back through your family history. But point number one, a lot of women, right, have sexual trauma or misguided beliefs about sex. And they end up in a space where because of that, right, their choices, their trauma, their experiences around sex and sexuality end up being bad, right? And so from that, the feelings of guilt and shame are some of the hardest emotions to process, right? It's not that you don't feel them, but they are so difficult to process that for a lot of us as women, being, emotional by nature for all of us, but for a lot of us, when you don't have the right support system or you were violated in these areas, you end up in a space where you just run from guilt and shame.
And that's a fact. And this is why when y'all be asking me, why you get so little bit of views? Because a lot of people is running from guilt and shame. And the minute, we talk the truth the whole live from start to finish. So the minute somebody come on in here with their lying ass self and they hear the truth, they gone. They gone. It's an automatic reflex for them. And this is why it's a lot of people running around here like zombies, sick, and they ain't trying to get no help because they don't know normalize the truth hurt. The truth hurt. You see, if we were to normalize the truth heal, then we'll have a lot more people willing to accept the truth.
And so anything that makes you feel shameful or guilty, you put up a guard or a defense mechanism, you fight, you battle to the death, even if it means that you curse your children to not feel those feelings, to not sit with those feelings. Because again, it's the processing of them that's a problem. It's not even the initial, feelings of that. So a lot of things that fast forward to us, we can't even have conversations with our moms and our grandmothers and aunts about comes from the fact that they don't know how to process the guilt and shame that comes along with their sexual experiences, their relationship experiences, their sexuality experiences. And again, for our people, it goes all the way back to the dynamic of slavery and fast forward into us not understanding family, right? The things that were done to our culture and community through systemic racism, certain things that we're still battling with now that we don't talk about. Because you cannot heal from what you can't confront, and what you do not discuss and talk about so that you can process it. And so for a lot of us, when we are even talking about this part of the conversation, it's triggering because, like she said, I can look back and I could tell my mother was not sexually disciplined, but she talks a lot about discipline. Hypocrite. My mother was not sexually disciplined, right? But she talks a lot about discipline, cleaning up her house, going to school, getting good grades, me not chasing around little boys, or if I'm a boy, taking the garbage out, not worrying about these little girls, get off the game. She preaches and teaches in her ways of nurturing and caring for me and rearing me about discipline. But when I look at the family structure that we come from, she doesn't come from discipline in the areas that it counts. Sexual discipline, financial discipline, discipline with your choices in men. So I've seen domestic violence. I've seen, like she said, a lot of kids out of wedlock. And I'm not talking about wedlock where there's healthy co-parenting situations. I'm talking about wedlock where y'all sit around and we can tell that there is trauma around the idea of baby daddies and fathers not being in the home, but we can't talk about this stuff. We can't discuss it because mama can't process guilt and shame. Who can relate?
Ooh, baby, I can.
Everybody could relate to that. And that's why my content is so triggering and it's so like, oh, every day, why? Because these are the problems. If we address this and if we fix this, all those other problems that y'all want to distract yourself with go away, go bye-bye. The dudes that just sick of these modern women, that go bye-bye because the mother, if we address the mothers will be raising proper kids. Sisters as well, those that just can't stand the way these new men is acting. If we address the mothers, then it will all fix itself. But we can continue to distract ourselves with the little paper cuts surrounding the gash in our forehead if we want. But we know what time it is.
I'm glad you touched on the sexual part, love, because the same thing happened to my mother, and I didn't really know until it happened to me. Until before my uncle had passed away, he sent me a message letting me know it had happened to her, and it came to the point where DCF got involved, and she straight up told them that she's doing this because she's upset that me and her dad is getting a divorce. And I knew nothing about a divorce. I was 11.
Right. And there's the concept, Tavion, of someone teaching you off of their mistakes, right? But you're not teaching me off your mistakes if we're not even discussing the mistakes. If you are just pushing forward parenting, we never discuss the shit that has you fucked up in a lot of your ways and with your character. And it gives off, like Frank said, the perception that moms ain't wrong. Moms don't have, the moments where they lie or they mislead or they manipulate to get you on their side. But let me say this, right? And I'll let you finish your point, Tavion. We deal with, from our mothers, without a doubt, it is a fact, jealousy, control issues, lack of boundaries for them and them allowing us to set boundaries as we get older with them and family, roles and lines blurred on where we start and they begin. We deal with guilt tripping. We deal with them parental alienating and creating a space, not just with our daddies, but with other family members where we have to take their sides.
It's true. It's damn true.
You took mama's side because that's who was taking care of you, and that was that. And so now that you're grown, you have a warped sense of what loyalty is. You get with men and women, and because you do stuff for them, or they live in your house, or you might be the person that's running the finances, you believe they automatically are supposed to agree and do it.
Exactly, guys. Understand, when y'all get with these women, when y'all get with these men, y'all think they making their own decisions. These people, as adults, revert back to their childhood experience to get the answers to what they're going through. And I'm telling you, we these are the parenting styles, yo. These are let make sure y'all stick this chart in your head. I gotta switch back. Hold on, let me switch back. Make sure y'all screenshot the chart. Do what y'all gotta do for the chart. Oh, wrong spot. Do what y'all gotta do to get this chart right here, bro. These are the parenting styles, man. These are the parenting styles.
what you say and be on your side, even when you dead ass wrong. And this is why a lot of us struggle to build genuine relationships and understand what teamwork is. We deal with misguidance in regards to sexuality and relationships, because when mama could never quite get right a healthy relationship, a lot of things are traumatic centered around you building a healthy relationship. Black boys, when they grow into men, they struggle to be able to show up for the wives that they choose or the women they choose to build a family with, because mama's in your business. Mama got to come to your rescue. Mama never taught you certain things about setting standards. Mama in competition with the new wife or the girl.
And we know that to be true. As many body cams as we done, who the first person they call, y'all? Put it in the chat. Who the first? Okay, let me call my mama. Let me call my mama. The first person. Because that's who programmed them. That's who programmed them. That's who got all the answers. That's who gave them all the answers. It don't matter how old they is, right? Let me call my mama.
Girlfriend, mama jealous of certain stuff. And like Frank said, you don't go against your mama. And so as a young man, I'm damn near beefing with my wife or my spouse over the fact that my mama don't.
Yeah, FDA. Yeah, I was gonna get to that, bro. I wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, I can't really give you what you should do, because I don't know your situation in right now. I don't know your situation. You know what I mean? But I would never do that, bro. I would never do that. Especially FBA. No, I would never do that, bro.
Know her fucking role, nor do I. I don't know how to set the boundary. It ain't just, I ain't gonna put it on mama. The way I was raised, and a lot of times lack of a father or the father figures we saw around, the women ran or bossed them around. So I don't know how to set the standard. I don't know how to quote unquote put my mom in the lane that she's supposed to be in while building a relationship with my wife or my children. We also go through emotional harm. There's a lot of us as young women, we had children, right? And our mothers told us, okay, you have your baby, you don't need that nigga. Red flag number one, but we didn't know it was a red flag. I'm gonna help you take care of it. And a lot of what mama does as a grandma gets held over your head, because whenever you try to do something that she doesn't agree with, she either paints it with the child against you or acts like she not gonna deal with the child how she used to because you won't listen to what she's saying. You put in this box. And it's a box based on being overshadowed by your mother. And in our community, even when some of these clips that come from this Zoom hit the internet, people are going to be upset as mamas that we discussing this, because historically, dads are wrong, moms are right, moms don't lie, dads be lying, niggas ain't shit, women is everything, we do everything right, they do everything wrong. These kids fucked up because of what the dads are doing, not because of what the moms are doing. Period, point blank. Don't talk about your mama, how to.
And that's crazy. And with the same mouth, they say the dad left. They say the dad left. The dad left, ran off. So that means they in the possession of these kids. They have the custody. The ball is in their court. They are on the basketball court. And somehow, some way, it is still the father fault that they lost the game. They normalize stupid shit, y'all.
Fuck you gonna do that? She took care of you. You wrong. Your mama could never be wrong. Those are the beliefs in our culture, in our community. And this is what we have to wake up every day as, you know, a revised or a new mind, breaking these generational curses and come back. Go ahead and finish your thought, honey.
And it just came to a point where food and money were involved. And once when the department turned their back on me, they took my mother's side, I was like, okay, well, maybe this is normal. And I've always known that I had an interest in women. I'm a lesbian. But then once when that happened, I started going back and forth, and I just didn't know who to go to, which one to pick. And it was really difficult, where I just started passing my body around to different men because I thought it was normal. Because, you know, when mom turned her back on me, I'm like, okay, well, shoot, maybe this is it. Maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this, for us as young girls and boys, going back to our childhood, your first experiences with what a man is and what a woman is and how they behave in their character and their gender roles, it starts with parents or whoever the immediate family is that you're around. And these are things.
I say that all of the time, love. That's just some psychological truth. You be reading the same books that I be reading. So I tell them that all of the time. Like, miss me with the dumb stuff. You get all your ways. That's the default settings. That's that default programming. Remember, guys? That's this right here.
There's people walking around out here that are soulless avatars simply operating on matrix programming. They're living, but they're not alive. And they're all around us. They're all over the place. People that have never woken up to who they truly actually are. They simply are operating on the code that they've been programmed and given since they were born, since they were even in the womb and at gestation. The same code, just running on programming, never exceeding the programming, never reprogramming the programming, never editing it, never hacking themselves, just running on the pure code and living a complete lie, believing that they're alive, but they're not.
Now, I know my sisters, y'all may look at this as a bash because y'all just so used to channels talking about women, but it ain't my channel. It ain't like nothing like my channel. Understand, this is to challenge you. This is the real. This is the real. They don't tell y'all this, but this is the real. They wait for y'all to have the baby and then they treat y'all all funny. And then you got to go do this on the fly. This is the real deal. Do you want to be responsible for the default programming of somebody? And God knows how they turn out. Because remember, these women is fronting right now. They acting like they're not responsible for the default programming. Do you want to be one of those women that actually sit there, stick your hands in your pocket and play real dumb, like you don't know why that child act like that? That's all.
That we don't discuss in our community. How everybody just fast forward says that I know my sexuality, I understand it, I know what I am, I've been gay or straight since I was born. But in all reality, the things that happen to you, experiencing traumatic sexual experiences with women can warp your view of loving women or roles with women and vice versa. This is why a lot of young men that are gay or homosexual in their adult life, they have experiences of violation, not just by women, but men. And so it warps their view of the roles and the safe spaces and, you know, what I am attracted to and why. And in our community specifically, it becomes a pain point because we don't get to talk about it. Especially if you grew up in a household where, you know, mama was on that religious trip, right? Because there's a big difference between, like I tell y'all, being spiritual and being religious. Having a relationship with a higher power and understanding faith and belief in something, and then just being ritualistic and religious. Meaning I go to church every Sunday, but I behave nothing like a Christian behind closed doors.
Absolutely, yo. It's a little fake African/Muslim family in the building here. And they got like three girls. And all them girls walk around with the little veil and all that shit on their head, scarf, wrap. And do you know, them little girls be sucking pipe from the back in the staircase, B. And their parents don't know that. But you see how they take this religious thing on and push it on people that without even being able to teach the people the spirituality of the religion, they just go along to get along. But yeah, they walk around all day, yo, with the fucking veil on and shit. Man, that shit kills me. That shit cracks me up.
I tithe and I sit up and I amen and shout and talk in tongues, but I come home and I'm one of the nastiest people you can meet when traumatic experiences occur or I'm faced to be accountable. Whether you are Muslim, whether you are Buddhist, whether you are Christian, in, you know, the Quran and the Bible, whatever, you know, we can discuss, because I've studied many religions, that there is a root of accountability and taking ownership, right? For whether you are behaving in the way that matches what you say you believe. And for a lot of us growing up, we never had this conversation centered around sex, sexuality, treatment of one another, how to deal with conflict, resolve. When you say that you have a spiritual belief, when you say that you are, you know, whatever you claim to be or whatever you believe to be in your spiritual beliefs or your religious practices, it must show up in your character. When we talk about character, your ability to relate to people, to have humility, to take ownership for your actions, to grab hold of your life and be accountable for what's going on with you, and not just blaming it on demons or the outside world or some outside source, but being willing to be honest with yourself that most of what I have going on starts internally and then it projects externally to where then external things can affect my internal. Do y'all understand what I just explained?
Yeah, but most of us grew up off of supposed to. Like,
say that again.
Everybody I know grew up off of supposed to. Like, they take you to church, you're supposed to know everything that's up in there because we enter the building.
Mm-hmm.
If I point to the room and you clean up the room and I say that ain't right, you supposed to know this don't look right, and you gonna get it right, but you never showed example of it.
Absolutely, big brother. He is spot on. I told you that. They're already thinking that they could bring the baby into the world and just abracadabra, he's supposed to act right. Without them knowing how to program the baby. That's the problem, because they don't know how. If they knew how, then they'd do it. But they just don't know it. And they don't want to admit to not knowing. So they just gonna front. They just gonna front.
Anything. So everybody is just supposed to know frequency from why you playing with them boys? They bad. They breaking their houses. How the fuck I supposed to know that's bad? And this is my example of
it's an assumed, you're right, Frank. It's an assumed you know better. But my point to y'all is, do you know where our community gets that belief from? Because again, it starts with moms and dads. Like we in the Zoom talking about mama trauma. Mamas are our first experience with attachment. They're our first experience with, what behaviors to take on to survive in this world alongside fathers, if you are blessed to have your father in your life. And when we look at this, if they weren't afforded the space to be given the information and taught, like you said, on here is how you go about these things, here is why the actual lessons, and they were made to just, better and push forward, we get that same generational curse. We just don't know it's a curse because, like you said, Frank, we don't get to question mama. And I'm telling y'all, in this day and age, these conversations are so important because a lot of us are mothers. We're mamas. I'm a mama. I do not want to curse my children with the same shit that was overshadowed to me, meaning walking around like my shit don't stink, like I don't make mistakes, like I have not struggled with sexual discipline, like I don't make poor choices with money, like I have not done people wrong, like I am not flawed or of sin, like I don't have flesh, like I am to always be agreed with. This is trauma. Even though on the surface, when you doing the mama thing, it don't seem like much, but I'm telling y'all, in your adult life, your emotional state, your ability to process things in your mind starts with whether you have mama trauma or a healthy relationship with your mom and understood roles. That's why I tell y'all, love can make you tolerate and go along with and do a lot of shit that character-wise is fucked up. So I ain't talking about whether your mama love you or not. Take that shit off the table. Did a motherfucker do right by you? Did their character show up in ways that match their intent, right? To rear me to be able to thrive in this world. Some of us, we were raised by our mothers to just survive and to survive under her standards, to survive under the standards that she felt was necessary.
And if you're in a rut right now, if you stuck in life, this is what you need to address. This is what you need to, this is why. If you one of them victims feeling somebody owe you something, that you know who owe you something. And that's what you need to address. So you could write it in a letter. You know what I mean? You could write it in a letter, write it down how you feel. You know what I mean? And mail it. No return sender. You know what I mean? You don't need no closure. After you get it off, you let it go and you move on. You go get some new information. That's all.
Point where it's a lot of y'all, I get in Zooms and talk to y'all about goals and shit, and you struggle to even set the ceiling higher than where it's at right now because it's based on where your mama set the ceiling.
Yeah, most of us, we haven't really heard that shit before. We ain't heard to put it in that term because we ain't nobody in our circle and our family talk like that. It's not even a discussion. So it's like a lot of stuff I knew, It's just based off my own experience. Like, well, my mom ain't showed me shit. It's just once I got grown, it's like, damn, like, okay, I know to pay bills.
She showed you what was necessary, Frank, to survive in her world.
And that's it. You want to
so, but I want you to understand what I'm saying.
I was surviving, and I still didn't understand this.
Listen to me, baby. She showed you a lot that had to do with surviving and coping and dealing and living in her world. What you recognized as a man is when you got grown, none of the things that I did well to survive and thrive in my mama world works in the real world. And this is where we get set up to fucking fail in life.
Bingo, 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 bingo. Everything you have learned to this point have been by a person who didn't have what they was teaching you. Think about it. You learned money from a person who didn't even have money, week to week in it, just like you. And none of y'all went to a class with a millionaire. None of y'all invested in a class that taught y'all about money when you were younger. Maybe when you got 30, 25, 28, you said, let me invest in some. But as a child, nobody was sat down and talked to about money as a 12-year-old boy by a millionaire. So every information you got at 12 about money was from a broke person. Every information you got about love was from a survivor, somebody that didn't really have much love in them, because when you're surviving, you can't have much love. You got hunger. You got a lot of backstab in you because you're surviving. But you ain't got a lot of love, so you taught love from somebody that ain't even got a soul. Come on, y'all. This is why it's imperative to go get the information for yourself. Take a season where you get into a relationship with yourself. Even if you're in a relationship, if your partner can't understand that both of y'all need a season to yourself, then y'all probably not even meant to be together.
You can be taught all the things to have a great relationship with your mom while under her roof, while going by her rules, while living in her community that she created. When you hit 18, 19, 20, even 24, 25, and you touch the world outside of your mom's control, you don't know what the fuck to do. You don't know how to survive. You green to a lot of shit. You don't know how to thrive. You don't know how to pick the right people. You don't know how to build relationships. You don't know how to manage your emotions. You don't know how to go out in the world and deal with people without going back and, Mom, the lady said this. What I need to do with this? Mom, I'm trying to do this. Can you help with this? The world is not centered around your mother's.
And that's a fact. The world not centered around your mother. And this is why a lot of y'all get caught. And what's the first thing they yell, Carl? CeeLo. What's the first thing they yell, my guy? My mother. Because that's who gave them the answers. The world not centered around her way of thinking, her perspective, her single-minded perspective. None.
Rearing. And when you understand that, it makes you a different mother to your children. Even for me, the world is not centered around how the fuck I run my house and what I want my girls to know. So when I parent them from a space of understanding. There's going to be some things that you face in life that nothing I told you going to have a fuck thing to do with that shit. I need to empower your own mind outside of me so that when you face with that shit that don't got nothing to do with mama and I don't matter, you can work your own motherfucking brain and be able to come up with your own conclusions, your own choices, and be confident in them and stand on them. Our black boys suffer from this.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And I'm going to tell you, sis, stop giving your kids the answers. Stop giving them answers to memorize. Stop doing that. You give them the answers and hope they memorize it. They gonna only memorize about 3. I'm gonna tell you right now. So you give them 20 things to memorize, they only fit to memorize 3. You better hope they're the most important 3. Don't give them things to memorize. Don't give them answers. Give them problems and watch them figure it out. Set problems for them and watch them figure it out so that way they gain experience through figuring it out. Don't try to make everything picture perfect for them, because God forbid, when you go, and salute to all my good breads who have lost a moms, because that got to be one of the worst things One of the worst feelings in the world. Because it's true. Oh, it's damn true. We only get one biological moms that we came out of. But that's no excuse to just sit there and sob and mope. Understand. Get to the information why she is still here. If she didn't give you that, she didn't give you that. Get to the information why she's still here, bro. And mothers, set the problems for them so that when you are gone, because it's just a circle of life. It's gonna happen. Children bury their parents, and the children's children's bury them. That's the circle of life, right? So make sure they're prepared without you to live and go on without you. Don't keep them handcuffed, because a lot of parents do that. A lot of y'all raise them from a standpoint of, I need them to need me for the rest of their life so I could feel important, so I get a little dopamine hit because he need me. Stop doing that. Stop doing that, because when you go, you're gone, and they stuck. They stuck. And I hate to see the kids that can't let it go. I know we all love our mama, but if that's going to be the reason you stay stagnant and die, because if you're not growing past that, then you're slowly dying. But I hate to see those kids. I'd be like, damn, B. And it'd be men and women just be so emotionally invested in their mother, and she got a chance to live her whole entire life.
And this is why in the past few Zooms I presented to y'all, when we look at just online, the comedic part of depicting a black mother, right? Just the comedy part. Anybody ever been to a comedy show where the comedian has a skit about?
You could just look at Medea. You could just look at the Medea character, and that is it right there. Look at Medea.
About growing up black or in the black household with a black mom, right? The skits often look like you put on a wig and then you put on a nasty attitude. And so the comedians, and this is all over the world, really, but I'll start with just the United States of America. You cannot debate this fact. If you click on a comedian's page that is through comic relief depicting black moms, it's always mean, rude, nasty, and stern. It's never loving. It's always put the wig on, crook it to the side, sit y'all motherfucking ass down, get off my goddamn couch. Who the fuck went in my refrigerator? Better have your motherfucking ass in here when the street lights come on. Y'all motherfucking ass keep trying me. You're getting on my last nerve. Stop going in and out my motherfucking front door. Cut the goddamn lights off. Who the fuck is that little girl you got up in my motherfucking house? Oh, your ass want to be grown? You're putting your hands on me? This is all we see. And so for me, I got to a point where I realized, like, God damn, ain't no motherfucking skits, even when it's not comedy or in movies where it depicts black moms saying, come on in here, sit down, let mama talk to you, baby. Give me a hug. I understand you messed up in school. Okay, let mama talk to you about what you're going through. And so when you accept this reality, take yourself out, take your mama, and just be real with yourself. All these motherfucking people from Washington down to Florida, from California to motherfucking Pennsylvania or New York, these people ain't all depicting us as nasty, rude, fucking aggressive ass people for no reason at all. This is their experiences with us. This is their fucking experiences with a black mother. Rude, nasty, aggressive, intrusive. Fucking do what I say. Do what I tell you to do. Follow through. Take my side. Your daddy ain't shit. This is the shit that we are projecting onto our culture.
Absolutely, yo. Absolutely. And it took a sister to tell y'all, that is what y'all doing. That's what, you know, she talking about your mama, Sugar Bum. She talking about your mama, yo. Sugar grandma. She talking about sugar grandma.
And it's wrong, dog. It's wrong. It's wrong. Ain't shit right about it. And for a lot of y'all, if we think about it, if we allowed our children in the room to just, hey, y'all go in here, we're going to give y'all some Robux and some motherfucking money to act out how your mama act. Most of them going to go straight to the nasty stuff. And it's not because we're never nice or we never do anything right. It's because most of the experiences with us, most of our behavior is rude and stern and intrusive and masculine. And by the end of, if I'm with you for 40 days, and for 5 other days spread out through the 40 days, you are nice and loving. But for the other 35 days, you mean, rude, and nasty, or stern, or unloving, or you're not open, you don't emotionally support me. At the end of the 40 days, when somebody say, write your review, Dorsey, what the fuck you think I'm gonna write? So when you get out in the world after 18, 20 years of experience with your mama, and the majority of it was masculine, rude, the bad is overshadowing the good. The attitudes and the moments of distress and the adverse childhood experiences all overpower the love that my mama.
But they want to talk about the one time they got you something for Christmas, or when they put you in school, or they want to talk about the one time, love. They want to focus on that one thing, knowing the majority of the time they was hell of a.
Really had for me. The love got to show up.
Love, that's so crazy, because I had bought like a little workbook from Walmart, right? And it says things I love about mom. Do you know I bought that book 2 years ago, and I struggled to even write positive things about mom.
Yep.
I felt so bad, but I had to call my sister and my little brother and ask them for their opinion. Like, am I tripping? And they.
Sugar Bum, what I don't understand is, what's the psychology behind you hating on another black woman? What's the psychology behind that? Like, why do you just come in hating on your sister? What part of the game is that? I don't understand. What did she say? How is she bothering you? Because like, you focused on everything outside of what she's talking about. Guys, you remember we pulled up the chart earlier? I want to play something. I want to play a game right now, guys. Hold on. Where's that chart at? All right, guys. Let me switch over. I want y'all to guess. I want to see how well y'all know the chart, and I want y'all to tell me, what color is Sugar Bum's parent? Her mom's. What color you think Sugar Bum mom's is? All right, guys. We're gonna go in order from one being the red. Then we're gonna go 2 green, 3 blue, 4 yellow, and then 5 gonna be purple. So just put the number of what you think Sugar Bum mom's is, her mom's parenting style. And at the end of the live, I'm gonna cause I know, trust me, I know, and I'm gonna tell you if you're right. I'm gonna tell you the exact one that, because I know exactly her parenting style. She done told on herself a long time ago.
It was lost for words. Like, yeah, not lying.
You almost have to force yourself to just say surface level stuff. Well, her cooking was always good, and such as, like, come on, bro. Let's be real with ourselves. In order for me to be a grown woman and show up 20 years of experience with your mama, and the majority of it was masculine, rude, the bad is overshadowing the good. The attitudes and the moments of distress and the adverse childhood experiences all overpower the love that my mama really had for me. The love got to show up.
Love.
That's a fact. The love got to show up, and don't worry about it. Sugar Bum, because after we guess your mom's, we're gonna guess your father too. Cause I got the chart. I got the chart for the heart. You know me, you know my content. My content hit the bone. It hit the bone, because you can't put a lash or put wigs and all the types of stuff that you be using to hide the truth. You can't do that with my content. My joint penetrate, boy. So we gonna pick your father too. So don't worry about it. And then we're gonna match it, because then I'm gonna show you the mix. I'm gonna show you the combination, and that combination is what makes Sugar Bum, guys. It's a mathematical equation. 1 + 1 = 2. Hit that like button. We cooking today.
That's so crazy, because I had bought like a little workbook from Walmart, right? And it says things I love about mom. Do you know I bought that book 2 years ago, and I struggled to even write positive things about mom.
Yep.
I felt so bad, but I had to call my sister and my little brother and ask them for their opinion. Like, am I tripping? And they was lost for words. Like, yeah, not lying.
You almost have to force yourself to just say surface level stuff. Well, her cooking was always good, and such as, like, come on, bro. Let's be real with ourselves. In order for me to be a grown woman and show up in character to a spouse or to my children or even to y'all as friends or a community, somebody got to show me how to be feminine and positive and still hold boundaries while doing this. And when we didn't get that, but yet life requires you to be that in order to be successful, it becomes fucking chaos. Yeah. Because I want a relationship. I want positive friendships. I don't, want to be in constant fights and have trust issues and things like that. But my upbringing conflicts with what the fuck I'm trying to show up as in the world. And when you understand this, it molds your beliefs. I talk to so many young women and they're like, Dorsey, I watched one of your videos and I realize now my mama, my grandmas, and some of the beliefs I got from childhood had me treating my baby daddy a certain way, which is why we struggle to co-parent. And now I'm trying to fix it, but we done said so much stuff to one another. I ain't right about everything. He ain't right about everything. And it's like, I want my kids to have both parents and they have no place to start. And this is why they're on a one-on-one call with a stranger. When they got a mama, they got a daddy, they got a grandma, they have people in their family they could go to, but they know, even though they don't know what the right information is, they know they can't get the right information from them. And that is when you realize I have had a traumatic experience emotionally. It might not be traumatic necessarily financially. It might not be traumatic in regards to the material stuff you got bought or some of your experiences growing up. But when you a full-grown adult with your own children and you cannot lean on the community in which you come from to support you in being a better person and being better to the next generation, setting up assets and wealth and things for them, and wealth not just lying in money and material stuff, but wealth in regards to knowledge and love and support, that's trauma.
Mm-hmm.
That is trauma.
Yeah.
It is basically
Sugar Bum, why are you looking at her? You like girls, Sugar Bum? You want to lick her fish hole, Sugar Bum? What's up with you? Because we over here listening because she ain't say a goddamn lie yet. So what's up with you? Why are you over here looking at her? And she looks nice. She looks nice. But why are you over here looking at her, man? Like, what's up with you, Sugar Bum? You like licking fish hole or something? Because we listening. Like, you don't want to listen to her?
explain why a good giant chunk of us is on your platform, Dorsey.
Yes.
Because a good chunk of us is just realize what we're not getting from the house. But so guess what? So a chick with a neck tattoo is giving about life in our own household.
Yes, Linwood, there's a part of when you get grown, and I had to realize this, right? Where I had to go out into the world, similar to what I'm talking about with a lot of y'all and people on my platform, and I had to get in books and get around strangers to get the information to really redirect my behavior, right? And I had to do this because I realized that all of us as adults, when you have unresolved issues and unhealed trauma, starting back from adolescent, you show up in an adult setting as a child. I can recall times that I showed up as the child version of me in a full-blown adult relationship. I done been in relationships with friends, with sexual partners, with, family, and I'm in this conversation or in this moment as a full-blown kid. I don't have the mental or emotional maturity past maybe 10 or 11 in this moment, right? Because of the things that are unresolved with me. And so when I recognize this about myself, I also recognize this about my parents, my support system, and then people I worked with and people out in the world and people I grew up with from my hood or my community. I realize it's a lot of people that they have unresolved child issues, right? That inner child was not supported or made to be protected in a lot of ways. And when that shit shows up from a trigger point in your current life, you show up as that scarred, hurt, broken child. And so when you understand this, you realize when we talk about mama trauma, which is what we're going to talk about in this Zoom, my mother has things that as a child, people didn't show up and protect her and teach her and guide her through. And so moments fast forward in her being my mother and I'm the child, she doesn't know how to protect and show up and, help me process certain things because nobody did it for her. And this is the generational curses that I talk about. And it's the same when y'all hear me talk about being empathetic and exchanging perspectives.
That's a fact. That's why we don't want to hear, I do anything for my child. Because if that's true, then you'll go see about your mental health. You'll go see about yourself. You'll go see about the things that get you so triggered and get you all swelled up. Because you can't help that child until you fix those things. Honestly, all you're gonna do is pass those things to that child and then stick your hand in your pocket talking about, I didn't raise them like that. They give you the shirt off their back. I don't even want that shirt.
With your father, because a lot of us are painted just this hate picture towards a dad just being a deadbeat. This is the rhetoric that the internet is pushing on us. This is what our moms from their mama trauma and the brokenness in our community is telling us to believe, that just dads are all bad, their sides don't matter, anything they say is just an excuse, none of it is valid. But the same way a mother or one of us has shit that we were let down on as a child, this is not an excuse. This is a point for you to fucking confront and change who you are, because I had to do it. When I realized, Love Dorsey, you showing up as a grown woman, but a child at the same time, and it's on you to fix that, I had to get on myself. I had to confront that there are things from your childhood, stuff that you experienced in your early adult experiences that fucked you up when you were already walking around with points from childhood that were unresolved. And so it's your job to fix that shit. But if I would never admit that there's a such thing as mama trauma, or, understanding the dynamics of fathers, what systemic racism did to my community, and, certain things about our culture that are just not true, that is pushed on us every day, I would have never fixed myself.
And you realize that the only time that the mothers show up is when she has a baby. Now all of a sudden we want to be super grandma or nana, and then they have this excuse called it's a nana thing, when they start to do things with your children that they didn't do with you. And then now it starts to bring an emotion, like you feel some type of way. Because I felt like that with both of my girls. And then they put it above your head when you're staying.
Yep. Do you know what that is? When you see your mom treat your children as a grandmother in loving ways that she never showed you. You know what that is?
She overcompensating.
There is overcompensating in it, but overall, that's how Black mamas apologize. That's how they apologize. They don't, as a majority, right? And this is based on our experiences. They don't sit down and say, you know what? I'm treating your child differently from how I did with you because I see my mistakes. And when I was, they don't say that. They want you to believe that they did the best they could, and you better be grateful for that. And nothing really wasn't wrong with it. And even though I'm parenting or grandmothering your child different than I did with you, I still ain't do nothing wrong with you. But that's their way of subliminally apologizing. Anybody know what a subliminal post is? Where I got beef with Linwood, I go make a post. Everybody know I'm talking about Linwood, but I don't say his name. It's the same thing. You end up in a space where, damn, my mama doing stuff with my kids that I asked for that same shit, and she made it seem like it was a problem because she know different now. And that's why she handling her grandkids different. The only problem in that is the dynamic of rather she's willing to go through the guilt and the shame and process it with you.
They want to tell you how to do.
Look at Frank. She ain't finna do that shit.
She ain't gonna do that.
And it is fake. It is just like when somebody make a subliminal post. It is fake. We just don't call it fake because that's your mama. We don't call it wrong because that God forbid you say your mama did anything wrong, but it's dead wrong for you to show up. It's conflicting and confusing as fuck. For you to beat the fuck out of me every time I'm wrong for something. But then with my grandkids, you keep hollering times have changed. And times could have changed back then had you changed the time that we were experiencing. Fuck is you talking about? But if I say this, oh, you being disrespectful. Oh, I'm watching you do things and you investing in your grandkids' dreams. Like I had ideas when I was growing up and you told me to shut the fuck up and go sit down. But my child come to you and say she want to fucking do a lemonade stand. You out by the road sweating, fucking selling lemonade.
Then they get tired. Then when they get tired of your kids,
Go ahead, Dominic.
So what if you and your mom did have that conversation and it's like she has apologized or whatever, she realized her wrongs and she treats your siblings, well, my siblings and my kids differently. But our relationship hasn't really grown or progressed.
But Dominic, this is what I'm talking about. The mothers struggle to process guilt and shame. Just think of you if you're a mother. Most of the time when something comes up, with women in general, mother or not, but with mothers, you can understand when something comes up that makes us feel guilty or shameful, we get triggered and we get defensive and we flee with our cubs. This is why when baby daddies point out stuff that baby mamas is doing wrong, what we do? Tell the truth, what we do?
He can't see his kid ever. He can't see his kid ever again. He's going to tell the child the truth.
We grab the kids and give me my motherfucking kids and I'm finna go. Y'all get y'all stuff. This motherfucker, y'all ain't coming back over here no motherfucking more. That's a sign that you cannot process guilt and shame. When somebody bring up as a mother, hey, you move wrong with this or this was we can tell everybody else what they doing wrong with our kids. Let somebody bring up, baby daddy or not, anything that look like they think that we did something wrong, baby, we finna grab these kids and run the fuck out of here now. And you ain't got to worry about me and my motherfucking kids no more. Bitch, I bet you won't get around them no more. And it turned into us being, watch this, all because we can't process guilt and shame sitting around our actions. We start to then create a narrative about them. Because once you start acting like I ain't doing right by my kids or you making it seem like I was wrong for something, I'm finna keep these bitches away from you. You won't be coming around my motherfucking kids. And guess what's finna happen? I'm finna make, before you do it to me, everybody believe that you the one that's wrong, right? So I'm finna start. I'm finna collect. You know how you make tally marks of every time somebody wrong? I'm never gonna look at the good no more with anything you do. And I'm gonna go from here by collecting wrongs. And as I collect these wrongs, I'm going to hold on to them so that I can avoid processing guilt and shame. That's all it is. We weren't taught. These are the heaviest emotions to sit with. And as mothers, when it comes to your babies, when you are met with guilt and shame, baby, you will do all kind of shit that will destroy your children's relationship with family, your relationship with other people in the name of, this is what I had to do to protect my kids. But what are you actually protecting? Somebody be honest.
You know, she protecting her feelings. And for her feelings, she would destroy the family. And that's sad right there. And that's what have been done. So now the cat is out the bag in our community, y'all. We could fix it now. If we want it fixed, we could fix it. We got the answers now.
You protecting your own ego. You protecting your own reputation. What you believe is tied to the guilt and the shame. You ain't doing shit to protect them kids because, in fact, it is proven that single mother-headed households produce the worst product. That people coming from single mother-headed households face more adverse childhood experiences in the way of finances, in the way of community support, in the way of their own mind being powered with confidence and self-esteem, in the way of their abilities to conflict, where it is a fact. Even though in this moment, when I'm saying it's a fact, your guilt and shame and your mama trauma won't let you accept that. And so it's about my delivery right now. Or it's about how, I can't stand her. She always talking about the women. Or, I can't. You can't get past accepting that in my life as a woman and a mother, I will feel guilt and shame to the point where you can take on some facts and do the fuck better for yourself, your family, and your children.
Absolutely, y'all. Absolutely. Well said. It's been a masterful class today. Play it back as many times as you need to. Don't miss the solution. It's also triggering, but pain is weakness leaving the body. So it may trigger you today, but it left your body. Now go on now. Do better. All right, wrap up, strap up, drink responsibly. I love all y'all, and I see y'all tomorrow, yo.